Tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw was the final live stop before WWE Night of Champions. In a sold-out Giant Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania, the big stars were out. Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar would be in the same arena, likely not to wait until Saturday to brawl. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens found themselves in the crosshairs of the top stables in wrestling. Before fighting the Bloodline again at WWE Night of Champions, they would need to find a partner to battle Imperium. The most likely help would be Matt Riddle, who has worked with them previously. Mustafa Ali also had a vested interest set for a WWE Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship match against Gunther at Night of Champions. Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus would sign the contract for their long-awaited match. We were also certain to hear from Seth freaking Rollins ahead of his battle for the World Heavyweight Championship against AJ Styles. This show was certain to be action-packed while featuring the top stars of the Red brand. Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher and the Phenom Michael Bullock, fresh off another one of our legendary Raw chats as always. And let's dive right on in, gentlemen. Monday Night Raw live tonight from the Giant Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania. We're going to get into this Monday Night Raw this evening. And then special Tony's take, I will give you the card for this Friday night's Impact Wrestling Under Siege special on Impact Plus. And then in the main event, it will be the Celtics chat with Michael Bullock, as we will be recapping Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals between his Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. So with that, let's dive on in. First off, Monday Night Raw, like I said, from the aforementioned Giant Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And just give me one moment here. Oh, okay. So we started it off with an in-ring segment. Paul Heyman, the wise man, hyping Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Money promo as always. And then that brought out the undisputed tag team champions, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, before being interrupted by Imperium. And then Matt Riddle showed up to even the odds. So it's obvious that Matt Riddle was going to be their partner, and that was confirmed that it would be KO, Sami, and Matt Riddle squaring off against all three members of Imperium in our main event here tonight. It's always better to start with action over words, but that is rarely the Red Brand's modus operandi. It was smart, at least, to start hot. The top stars either kept it short and sweet or got physical before long. In particular, Kevin Owens delivered in spades on the microphone tonight. After speaking his piece to the Tribal Chief Friday night on SmackDown, Sami Zayn let Kevin Owens show out. It looks like the expected partner for KO and Sami was set. If WWE does not have some twists throughout the night, it hardly makes sense that it took a week to announce the original bro as the help to the champions. But before the show even started, they showed Cody Rhodes arriving at the arena. The show barely started before Brock Lesnar got his hands on Cody Rhodes backstage, throwing around and smashing his arm with a metal keg, which brought back a painful memory from Michael Bullock, with The Undertaker. So, and that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in franchise history, the Denver Nuggets are going to the NBA Finals. Unbelievable. So, big moment there. So, congratulations to the Nuggets. Big moment. They're going to the NBA Finals for the first time in franchise history. Wow, that's exciting. What a story. All right. Getting back to this, the Advocate did not take credit for Brock Lesnar's attack. He merely stated he was invited back because his appearance was so well received last week. And then KO cheekily attributed his and Zayn's future win at Night of Champions to the Usos. Yeah, so pretty much status quo to start it off. So the typical promo stuff, even though it was solid for what it was. So with that, let's get into the action here. Our first match of the night, a first-time ever matchup. Bronson Reed squaring off against Ricochet. And Bronson Reed. Excuse me. Yep. Bronson Reed defeats Ricochet 8 minutes and 35 seconds. You know what? For the effort, I'm going to give it 3 stars. An unnecessary commercial break, just minutes in, cut this match down a bit, but it did not stop these two from maximizing their minutes. Ricochet and Reed have some spectacular chemistry that Raw can rely upon. Ricochet showed out through his moveset. Mr. Nice Guy focused on presentation, including a memorable kickout. He sold well without ever looking weak. And WWE has always been best at creating monsters. And Bronson Reed is coming along to the point that he can genuinely stand up to the big names. WWE aired a pre-taped interview from Reed, who blamed the one and only for costing him a shot at the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Ricochet showed some trepidation as Mr. Nice Guy headed to the ring. That paid off quick as Reed blasted him into the barricade off an apron dive. And when Mr. Nice Guy went for another apron dive, Ricochet hit him with a perfectly timed knee lift. Great spot there. Solid 3 stars for this effort. So not much more to say here. MF Bronson Reed defeating Ricochet 8 minutes and 35 seconds. And what else is there to say except a solid first time match? Okay, all right. There's MF now. All right, MF. Bronson Reed defeated Ricochet in 8:35. And how about them Denver Nuggets go to the NBA Finals? Wow.
Yeah, well, first off, I want to say that for the match itself, this was a pretty good match. Bronson Reed has actually done pretty well since coming back. I kind of felt like they didn't really utilize him really well. Now they've been well with them now looking like the monster that matchup for him, and he's entertaining enough, so he'll bounce back. I think now more than ever they're kind of utilizing him more as a tag team guy. So I think him and Braun Strowman are probably better as a tag team more as a single wrestler, even though Ricochet has had some success as a singles guy. But this was a good, solid fight, to say the very least, and there's really nothing more to say. As far as the Denver Nuggets, I know you just referenced it. Absolutely. I'm going to say it once. I'm going to say it again. They remind me of the San Antonio Spurs and the Detroit Pistons, the Detroit basketball Pistons, when they won their NBA championship. There isn't that many superstars. Yes, I know Nikola Jokic was an MVP and whatnot, and you could say that. But they bring fundamental basketball. They're not flashy. They're not that spectacular. Some people call them boring. Well, guess what, people? The Denver Nuggets are in the NBA right now. So screw you for saying that this is a boring ass team and that they don't even have any resemblance, because now they just took the beloved Los Angeles Lakers. The NBA is pissed about now because their dream final is now up in flames. So you can take the bird, the 2 middle fingers that's coming out of my hands right now, and you can shove it. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Okay, Fletch, tell us how you really feel. Woo! That's why we call him our Cerebral Viper.
Trust me, tonight, Cerebral Viper is coming out because I'm fired up. I'll say that.
Okay, any particular reason? Just curious.
There's a few reasons. There's a few.
All right. Well, I'm interested to see, but yeah, I mean, there were 6 teams that never made it to an NBA Finals. Now it's down to 5 because Denver's in it. I mean, congratulations to the Nuggets. I mean, this is a team that was once the laughing stock of the NBA, and many people have wondered when would they ever get to an NBA Finals? And now they are, and with Nikola Jokic, DeJounte Murray, and it's not just what they do offensively, it's what they've done defensively. And that is why they're the top team in the Western Conference, and that is why they sit here as champions of the Western Conference. So 3 stars for me on this. Yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So let's move on, Florio.
Yeah, very exciting moment here tonight. But we got to, we'll have a little more on that Thursday night. And who knows, maybe we could be doing a finals preview on Thursday night. Very possible. So we'll see what happens. All right. And then we had more of that sit-down interview with Corey Graves and Seth freaking Rollins ahead of Seth freaking Rollins' World Heavyweight Championship showdown with AJ Styles on Saturday, which was very well done. And then Zoe Stark against Candice LeRae. Zoe Stark wins the match, 2.5 minutes. We're going to bypass that. And then Brock Lesnar came out, and then Cody Rhodes showed up. He took off the arm sling and the ice that was on the arm, and then he tried to pick a fight with the Beast, and well, the Beast got the last laugh. MF, that dreaded Kimura lock, and just like he did to Triple H and Shawn Michaels many years ago, he did it. Oh, he did it. He broke the arm.
He snapped it. And that's the thing. Yeah, and the thing is that now we're worried. Did that just jeopardize the fight at Saudi Arabia? Did we just lose the match? We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, we got to get the doctor's opinion about it. It's possible that they might not do this at Saudi Arabia now. So, I mean, it's possible that they might be holding Cody back to stay in the United States, maybe, and then have Brock do something else. I don't know. Because you never know with these events, especially which ones are going to Saudi Arabia, which ones are not going to Saudi Arabia. Not everybody's going to go. There's certain guys, because of religious beliefs, because of, their sentiments, that they don't want to go, then that's by far, we don't have any arguments. It is going to be on a volunteer basis. You don't have to go. If you do, you're more than welcome to go. If you feel like, nah, this is not my thing, I don't want to do this, then obviously you don't have to. This is the question I have. Did Brock say no to this? Or is Cody like, nah, I don't want to do Saudi Arabia? But we got to wait and see, because it could just be an angle where Cody will go, obviously not at 100%, and maybe he overcomes and takes down the Beast one more time. We'll see, but that injury looks scary. That's all I'm going to say. Cody sold it really well, and he definitely made me whoa in that type of moment. So there's really nothing more to add. This was quite a scene, to say the very least, and there's really nothing more to add. Michael Bullock, the Beast, Brock Lesnar, he did it again. He got the upper hand on Cody, but this time we might not have a match at Saudi Arabia, because that arm went.
Yeah, when you hear that sound, that's never a good thing, and this may not happen, but we'll see as we get closer and closer. But yeah, Cody definitely sold it, and I mean, you want him to be that person, to be that everybody wants to feel sorry for and to overcome adversity, and yeah, so I think he sold it really well. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So Florio, it's yours.
Yeah. Very scary sight. Bullock, we saw it during our Raw chat here, and you heard me freaking out. You heard me going, "Oh my God, he did it! He did it! He did it!" And that's what it was. Assuming WWE will never delay Rhodes versus Lesnar, this injury angle it got a bit overly dramatic, especially given the American Nightmare's history. He played this angle legitimately back last year with Seth freaking Rollins. This is too contrived with just days remaining before Night of Champions. If Rhodes actually wrestles a full match with Brock Lesnar on Saturday, it would invalidate tonight's angle. It could, though, lead to a dramatic squash. The story of Rhodes versus Lesnar is make or break. If it works, the American Nightmare only grows more popular. If it fails, he may not get back to where he was at WrestleMania. Adam Pearce could not confirm or deny the damage done to Cody Rhodes' arm by Brock Lesnar to start the night. And you noticed, Brock Lesnar, as he was coming out, he interrupted Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali actually cut a serious promo about Gunther and how little respect anyone was giving him as a challenger. And then Brock Lesnar walked right past him and simply said, "Get a life, kid." And then the camera got uncomfortably close to Cody's face to sell his pain. And then Adam Pearce continued to scramble to get answers from the American Nightmare about his condition. But Cody Rhodes shut everyone out of his locker room. I mean, it kind of reminded me of Macho Man Randy Savage at WrestleMania 5. "Get out of here. I told you no interviews. I'll slap you and knock you out." Yeah, we all remember how angry Macho got. And Cody Rhodes, did you ever see him get that angry and pissed off before? Yeesh. Yeah. You would not want to cross the American Nightmare at that particular point in time. So, oofa. So, but it gives us a lot to think about. Going into Saturdays. So, see what happens, boys. So, not much more to say on that. So, all right. Moving on to our next match, tag team action. The Alpha Academy with the beautiful Maxine Dupree, a.k.a. Sophia Cromwell, who just celebrated a birthday recently. They went up against the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar, of course, Valhalla right there with them. And the Alpha Academy wins the match 4 minutes and 50 seconds, thanks in large part, guys, to Maxine Dupree. Maxine proved her worth there. So it looks to me like they could be setting up Maxine Dupree as the valet for Alpha Academy, and I'm all for it, especially with how Otis, this whole thing with Otis and Maxine, which is reminiscent of Otis and Mandy Rose from a few years back. So yeah, so this was about, if I had to put a rating on this, I probably would give it about 2 stars. Match was fine. The wrestlers involved went through their usual motions. However, Gable and Otis have hit a much higher bar in the past with limited time. And the story of Otis struggling with the advice of Maxine and Gable is keeping everyone involved relevant. However, Maximum Male models do not even look involved anymore, which could lead to an unfortunate direction for the team. The ideal situation is finding a path for Massey and Mansoor to get TV time as well. WWE does not often do 8-man tag team matches, but Alpha Academy and Maximum Male models together is money. And the Viking Raiders remain enablers for other tag team stories. And WWE has shown no interest in Eric and Ivar as anything more. And that's real. And it looked like she would fit that manager role for the team long term. And Otis did the worm, much to the delight of Maxine and the pain of Chad Gable. So probably about a 2-star match. All right. Next up, MF. This is an MF special if there ever was one. Because I know you know the story of these guys, and I can't wait to pick your brain about this. Shinsuke Nakamura squaring off against Finn Balor of the Judgment Day. And Finn Balor wins the match, 13 minutes and 20 seconds. Michael Bullock, it was with the help of Damian Priest, but Finn Balor defeating Shinsuke Nakamura 13 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, I'll give this about maybe I'll give this about 3.25. I could go 3.5, but the little bit of chicanery from Damian Priest did take away from it a little bit, but I still thought it was a good match here. I mean, especially with the long history with these two. I mean, they go back a long way, especially to the days of New Japan Pro Wrestling with the Bullet Club. You guys know all about that, and Fletch certainly knows everything about it. So, like I said, 3.25 stars. I could give it 3.5, but the Priest interference, I think, took a little bit away from it. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah, I'll give it 3.5. I mean, the names involved might convince some to go out of their way to see this match, but it was fairly formulaic. The closing stretch was strong, but even that fell into the inevitable Judgment Day interference spot. Nakamura and Balor were looking to execute in a way that was engaging enough for the time without putting them at serious risk. In that regard, it was a success. Assuming Nakamura versus Priest is in the future, hopefully that's a bolder match. Throughout, it looked like Priest cared more about hurting Nakamura than Balor. Impressive closing counter sequence. Nakamura blocked the running dropkick with a running single leg dropkick. Balor countered the Kinshasa with a double foot stomp. The artist then hit a Kinshasa, but was unable to take advantage out of exhaustion. So it's still a 3.5 star match for me. One of the fights of the night for sure. It ranks up there as one of the fights of the night. So there isn't much more to say on this. MF, you know these two. You know the history. Shinsuke Nakamura, Finn Balor. Balor wins 13-20. What exactly do you remember? What do you best remember from the history of these two?
There wasn't really that much history between these two guys. Because Nakamura was more of a heavyweight. Balor was a junior heavyweight. So they never really had that many battles. To be real honest with you guys. So I think it kind of, I know a lot of people is like, oh, but did they? No, not really. Balor was really more junior heavyweight, which was like cruiserweight division. And Nakamura was at the time fighting for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Now, Balor got into it with Nakamura to help one of his guys on Bullet Club, but then again, Nakamura was part of Chaos. So Chaos and Bullet Club had some wars, and there was a few little throwdowns, some scuffles, groups back in the day. Nakamura, the leader of Chaos, before the reins went over to Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker, and of course Finn Balor was one of the original leaders of the Bullet Club, along with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. So that's why you saw that going on more than anything else. So there was really some good wars between the two. But as far as like them interacting with each other, it was few and far in between. Not many times there was some significant fights. But man, there were some throwdowns. I will say that. More than anything else. So, yeah, nothing more to say. A 3-star bout. Anthony, I'll give it to you.
All right. So with that, we move on. Raquel Rodriguez squaring off against Sonya Deville. Raquel Rodriguez wins in 1:55. This was another meh, ho-hum diva fight. But Raquel Rodriguez has found a new partner to replace Liv Morgan, who's out with injury. And MF, it's your girl Shotzi. You know what that means? The Tank, baby. TCB. Take care of business.
Hey, at least for Fletch, it's not on SmackDown anymore, and we're gonna be seeing it on Raw now.
Yeah. And
not only that, but Saudi Arabia, get ready. That Tank is on its way.
Well, they're not going to be in Saudi Arabia.
That TCB tank.
They're not going to be in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, that's
because
right.
that match is
It's going to be on Raw. That's right.
next week.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
next
That's
Monday
right.
night.
It's on Raw.
Next Monday night in Albany. It will be Shotzi and Raquel Rodriguez versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Bayley and Io Sky versus Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville for the vacant WWE Women's Tag Team Championship as part of a loaded Monday Night Raw on Memorial Day night next week. So, but anyways, then we had the contract signing, Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus, and which featured a very interesting callback, which we'll get to in a moment. But let me get in on this. This was everything it needed. I got to tell you, this was, you can make an argument. This was the segment of the night here. This was everything it needed to be to sell the match between Trish and Becky. WWE has rushed some of the build to Night of Champions, but this was always going to be must watch. The man played her part perfectly, especially not reacting to the goading of Stratus. When she got the microphone, she cut her best promo in years. Stratus faction cut her own solid promo, but knew she would not be the star of this segment. Trish asked for a no contract promise for the contract signing from Adam Pearce, but he was more focused on hearing from Cody Rhodes and refused. The man came out in shades in the style of hands covering her face. They looked like a Geordie LaForge from Star Trek with that little visor thing he always used to wear. And but then again, I think she got that out of Seth's side of the closet, if you know what I mean. And Becky thanked Trish for being everything she never wanted to be and promised to embarrass her worse than when she barked like a dog. Do we remember that? The road to WrestleMania 17 when Vinnie Mac made Trish do that. We all remember that.
That was wrong. That had to do that to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell Trish was getting all PO'd about it just for Becky to bring that up.
Absolutely, but nonetheless, this to me was the segment of the night, and I gave you the explanation why. And there may this may not be classified as a main event, but forget a triple main event. How about a quadruple main event? Because this is a main event anywhere in the country. So, but obviously not at Night of Champions. But I have heard, guys, that this is not going to be a one-off. Regardless of who wins on Saturday, the feud is going to continue regardless of what happens. So who knows? Maybe SummerSlam is where they blow it off. So maybe something happens at Money in the Bank. I don't know. It's possible. But nonetheless, segment of the night here for me. Everything it needed to be, like I said. So not much more to say. MF, this is a Tony and Mikey special. You know me and my love affair with Trish. We know your love affair with the man. Something's got to give on Saturday, and I can't wait to see it.
Absolutely. This is going to be a heck of a match, man. I'm excited for this as well. I think the whole world's ready for it. And this is wrestling's past versus wrestling's present as we're looking towards the future. Remember, Trish Stratus was literally the face of the WWE in the Ruthless Aggression era and heading into that type of realm. Becky is the girl of the now. She became the star of the quote-unquote PG era and has utilized herself and catapulted herself as one of the biggest names and biggest faces of WWE. Now, these two are going to go at it, and it's going to be electrifying. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be amazing. Who wins it? I guess we'll find out on Friday when we preview it. But I will say this, it's going to be one hell of a match, to say the very least. So, yeah, contract signing, we always know it never ends good. But, hey, it was pretty good in my eyes. So, Mike, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely the segment of the night. I mean, I love the back and forth with them, and like you said, bringing up when Trish barked like a dog during the road to WrestleMania and WrestleMania 17, and basically you could just see the look on Trish's face. She was not happy about Becky Lynch bringing it up, and yeah, and I think after this is gonna be. I cannot wait to see this go down. So yeah, so this was the segment of the night, and all I gotta say is, Trish Stratus, welcome to the man's world, bitch. Woof woof. It's yours, Florio.
And that's exactly how the man ended that promo. Exactly how Bullock just he quoted that thing word for word. So, all right. Next up, we had Dominic Mysterio squaring off against Apollo Crews. Dominic Mysterio wins the match, 5 minutes and 5 seconds. Do you guys want to get into this, or do you want to move it on? It's fine. I just want to be sure before we do anything else.
I mean, it was an okay match. It wasn't really anything special. Obviously, they want to give Dominic some momentum and everything else. But for Apollo Crews, that was a little bit of a raw deal, man. I mean, he hasn't really had that much of an opportunity. Did okay in NXT, and now he gets relegated back here to the main roster after getting called up, and that's his first time out, and not a good performance. I mean, that I'm not gonna say anything about it, but it was a whole home fight. So nothing more to say. Florio, go back to you.
Yeah. If I had to put a rating on it, I would give it around 2.5. I mean, Dom is piling up wins. It was not the prettiest performance, though. That has been true of his work consistently. However, he knows how to play a crowd. It never looks out of place anymore. Just unrefined. Apollo did the work to keep the energy high, though his run in NXT did not build him up at all. He is still struggling to connect with fans and can quickly fall away into the crowd. In many ways, these men are polar opposites in terms of direction and talent. Character work will always trump in-ring style, but Crews can do what Dom is doing, maybe more. He needs better creative that may never come. So, we're not going to go further into it, but we are most certainly going to get into this. Before we get to the main event, then it was announced that, of course, we know that Fatal 4-Way for the women's tag team titles next week. But also next week, gentlemen, we are going to start having, for the men and women, Money in the Bank qualifying matches. Yes, sir. So it'll be very interesting to see who those qualifying matches will involve on the men's and women's side next week. So there's something to look forward to right there. So with that, we get into the main event of the evening, the 6-man tag team matchup. All 3 members of Imperium, Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci against Matt Riddle and the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The winners of the match in 15 minutes and 20 seconds, the babyface team, Matt Riddle, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn with a haluva kick on Vinci. KO with his Jeff Hardy Swanton Bomb gets the win for him. 15 minutes, 20 seconds. MF, hands down, fight of the night. But then again, with the talent involved, we're not surprised by this.
Absolutely not. Incredible main event. Like we said, I think the bigger surprise is that they actually let Ludwig Kaiser, I think Giovanni Vinci take the fall. That's not gonna make Gunther very happy. I'm just saying, but no, it was a great matchup. It was a great win for him, and for the face team, yeah, obviously fight of the night. I could easily say maybe I would probably say more like a 3-star, a 3.5 star bout, maybe, 3.5 stars for me. And yeah, nothing more to say. And Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
At 3.5, 3 3/4, this was definitely the fight of the night. I mean, definitely builds momentum for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, especially heading into their tag title match at Night of Champions, and to get it over a team like Imperium. I mean, that's definitely big for them, and yeah, Gunther is definitely not going to be happy about this. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. It's yours, Wario.
Yeah, 3.5 to 4 for this. The main event was so much better than any other match on the card. Not surprising given the talent involved. It also helped that everyone got time to deliver. However, while the Ring General was protected, Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser remained scapegoats in Imperium. If WWE ever wants this to feel like a true stable, Imperium must be able to win as a group against top competition. This, however, was not the right moment for a change of fortunes as KO and Sami needed momentum following a loss last week. However, this should be the last time for a while Imperium is vulnerable. Shane Mustafa Ali was basically dismissed after last week's big win. He is not a challenge to the Ring General, and only the upset of all upsets at Night of Champions would allow him to right his course. WWE showed a vignette highlighting the dangerous side of Riddle, who promised to be ready for a fight with anyone. When Gunther got the tag with Riddle in the ring, the original Bro goaded him on. Commentators sold this as a future title match. Hottest dynamic in this match, though, was Gunther versus Sami. The crowd went wild after Sami stood back up from a chop and delivered a Blue Thunder Bomb. Gunther dodged a haluva kick and locked in a sleeper hold. Riddle saved Sami by hitting the Ring General with a floating bro. Riddle then pulled Gunther outside and sent him over the ringside announce table. 3.5 to 4 stars. And fight of the night. But then you would think that was the end of the show. No. Then they cut to Cody Rhodes in his locker room. And who walked in? Papa H. Papa H basically tried to talk Cody out of the match with Lesnar because of the condition. He says, you really need to let medical take a look at you. And Cody said no. And Cody basically, said that, he asked Triple H what he would do and what he has done. And he said Triple H fought, just as he will do when he goes to Night of Champions to fight Brock Lesnar. That final segment with Cody was effective in establishing that he intends to fight despite his injury, which is an interesting hook for the match. Normally, it could scream that Cody would lose clean, and he might. But his win over Seth Rollins while wrestling with a torn pec last year makes his fate feel less than certain. But I got this feeling Cody might go over again, and then he takes one step closer to finishing he takes us another step closer to finishing the story, which I still believe he's going to do, because he called out Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar this past Saturday as part of that Saturday night's main event house show in Fayetteville, North Carolina, the video I sent you guys in our chat. So, but we'll wait and see on that. So with that, let's get to the overall review. Michael Bullock, you started off. Your thoughts on this go-home show for Monday Night Raw for Night of Champions?
I thought it was okay. I mean, it really, I mean, it was. I'll just say it like this: it was solid, but not overly spectacular. I'll give this about maybe 6.5 to 7 because you had some quality matches, but you also had some matches that were pretty much left to be desired. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. 6.5 to 7. It's yours for you.
I'm actually going to give it 7, teetering on 7.5. As a go-home show for Night of Champions, this was a solid Raw. WWE focused on building the big matches more than anything else. This was all about the triple main event. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens picked up an important, hard-earned win over Imperium, showing the difference between their approach as champions to challenger Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Cody Rhodes was all over this show for better and worse with Brock Lesnar. His final talk with Triple H to close the night was fine but contrived, selling that the American Nightmare would fight no matter what. Seth freaking Rollins said his final piece before his anticipated match with AJ Styles. By separating the challengers by brand, this was all that fans could get. The rest of the card was lackluster, but kept the Judgment Day hot despite mostly missing the Night of Champions card. It was odd for Rhea Ripley to challenge Natalya without the Queen of Hearts responding, but that match is now official. Rhea Ripley will defend the SmackDown Women's Championship against Natalya. In fact, outside of an excellent promo from Becky Lynch during her contract signing with Trish Stratus, WWE did not put too much effort into the women's division for the night. The moments WWE attempted to create may not stick, but Night of Champions should make up for that. Overall, Raw was solid enough for its primary purpose, building the pay-per-view to come. And I'm going to go on the record here. I think this, with the way this card has been built and based on how this card looks right now, I think this might be the best Saudi Arabia card we've seen yet. And it'll be very interesting to see how it plays out on Saturday afternoon. So 7, teetering on 7.5. MF, your overall thoughts, and then I'll set the table for Impact Wrestling's Under Siege special this Friday night on Impact Plus.
Yeah, no, I'll say I'm going to go with the 7. I would say definitely 7 out of 10. I think they did a really good job, and really nothing more to add. So yeah, Anthony, it's yours.
All right, so with that, let's dive on into. We have an Impact Plus special event coming up this Friday night to start off this loaded Memorial Day weekend, as it will be Impact Wrestling Under Siege live from the Western Fair District Agriplex in London, Ontario, Canada, exclusively on Impact Plus. And here is the card from on the pre-show. Joe Henry will defend the Impact Digital Media Championship against Dirty Dango. And with that, we're now going to go through the rest of the card. We're going to go from bottom to top here. ABC, Ace Austin and Chris Bay will be defending the Impact World Tag Team Championship against Subculture, Mark Andrews, and formerly of NXT, Flash Morgan Webster, with Danny Luna in their corner. I got to go with Ace and Bay to retain on that one. Nick Aldis will go one-on-one with Kenny King. I got Nick Aldis winning that match. Trinity will go up, formerly Naomi, going up against Giselle Shaw. Trinity wins that match. Rich Swann, Sami Callihan, and a mystery partner to take on the 3 members of the Design, Diener, Angels, and Khan. I got to go with Rich Swann, Sami Callihan, and the mystery partner. 6-way match to determine the number 1 contender, the next challenger for the Impact World Championship. It'll be Alex Shelley versus Eddie Edwards versus Frankie Kazarian versus Jonathan Gresham versus Moose versus Yuya Uemura. I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to say Alex Shelley wins this match. I don't know why, but I got this feeling. My second choice would be Frankie Kazarian, but then again, Jonathan Gresham. I mean, I think it's going to be one of those 3 who comes out of it. Trey Miguel will defend the Impact X Division Championship against the greatest X Division champion of all time, Chris Sabin. That is going to be a hell of a match. I think Trey Miguel retains. A last chance match for the Impact Knockouts World Championship. The champion, Deonna Purrazzo, the Virtuosa, defends against Jordynne Grace. If Jordynne Grace loses, she can no longer challenge for the Knockouts title as long as Deonna Purrazzo is champion. I don't know why my gut's telling me to go with Jordynne Grace, but I got to say Deonna finds a way to retain here. We'll wait and see what happens Friday. And then the main event of the evening, no disqualification match for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship. The champion, Steve Maclin, defends against PCO. Steve Maclin, easy retains. So that's really all there is to say on that. That all goes down Friday night, Fight TV on Impact Plus, Fight TV, and YouTube for all of you who have the insider membership. So there's that. All right. One last order of business tonight, and that is Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. In the NBA, the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat that took place last night in Miami. The Miami Heat went into this game up 2-0. But then Eric Spoelstra had his team fully expecting that Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals would be extremely difficult, that the Miami Heat were going to have to take the best shot that a desperate bunch of Boston Celtics could muster. He was wrong. It was a Heat romp. and a team that had to pull off a frantic rally just to make the playoffs is now one win from the NBA Finals. Gabe Vincent scored a career-high 29 points. Duncan Robinson added 22, and the 8th-seeded Miami Heat rolled past the Boston Celtics 128-102 last night. Miami leads the series 3-0 with a chance to finish off a stunning sweep tomorrow night at home in Game 4. Caleb Martin scored 18, Jimmy Butler finished with 16, Bam Adebayo had 13, and Max Strus added 10 for Miami. Every team in NBA history that has won the first 3 games of a best-of-7 has ultimately prevailed. The Heat are 8-0 in that situation. For the Celtics, Jason Tatum scored 14 and Jaylen Brown added 12, who won 3 times on Miami's floor on the way to winning last year's Eastern Conference Finals, but simply never had a chance in this one and basically emptied the bench for the fourth quarter. Grant Williams and Peyton Pritchard each added 12 for Boston. The NBA Finals are scheduled to start June 1st, and the way things are going, that might mean the league is about to go a few days without games. The Western Conference Finals, over. It just ended a little while ago, and now the East Finals could end tomorrow. There's never been a season where both conference finals ended in sweeps. It happened in 1957 in the division finals, immediately preceding the title series when Boston beat Syracuse 3-0 and St. Louis beat Minneapolis 3-0. Of all the 3-0 series leads in NBA history, this one might be the most unexpected. A number 8 seed in the Miami Heat, a team that struggled just to get into the playoffs, a team that was less than 3 minutes away from being eliminated in the play-in tournament, getting past top seed in Milwaukee in 5 games, then 5th seed in New York in 6, and now on the brink of denying the Celtics a second consecutive Eastern Conference title. And the Heat let Boston know how much they were enjoying this one. Mindful that Boston's Al Horford directed a timeout signal toward the Miami bench during Game 1 when the Celtics were on a second quarter spurt to build a comfortable lead, Jimmy Butler did the same to Horford as the Heat were running away in the third quarter of Game 3. Besides, the Heat rallied to win Game 1 anyway. There was no rally required in Game 3 by the Heat. There was barely one attempted by the Celtics, for that matter. Robert Williams made his first shot, meaning he made 12 straight to start the series. He missed his second attempt. The Heat encouraged fans to wear white to playoff games, and Tatum also arrived in an all-white suit. Robinson made 5 3-pointers and now has 124 in his Heat postseason career, passing LeBron James for the most in Miami history. Butler's steal with 7:17 left in the first quarter was the 2,000th in Heat postseason history. Vincent's previous career best was 28, set in a January 12th win over Milwaukee. Miami's Kevin Love checked out 4:47 into the game after what the Heat said was an undisclosed ankle injury. He went to the Heat locker room for evaluation, returned to the bench area later in the first half, but did not return to the game. TNT's Charles Barkley at halftime, with Boston trailing 61-46, and after being down by as many as 22 points, the lack of mental toughness, it's embarrassing. That was an embarrassment for the Celtics. So, to check the box score here for the Miami Heat, like I said, Gabe Vincent 29 to lead the way, Duncan Robinson 22 off the bench, Caleb Martin 18 off the bench, Butler 16 with 8 rebounds and 6 assists. For the Celtics, Jason Tatum 14 points, 10 rebounds, double-double. Marcus Smart nearly had a triple-double. He had 8 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. Jaylen Brown had 12. Grant Williams had 12 off the bench. Cornette had 11 off the bench. And that was that. And now the team numbers. The Miami Heat shot almost 57% from the field. Boston only shot 40%. Heat were 19 of 35 from 3 for 54% from 3. Boston, 11 of 42, 26% from 3. Heat, 17 of 21 from the free throw line, 81%. Celtics, 13 of 17, 76.5%. The good news for the Celtics was they did win the rebound battle. 36-34 defensively, 21-1 offensively, 57-35 overall. Each team had 25 assists. Miami had 7 steals, Boston 3. Miami 4 blocks, Boston 3. Heat committed only 10 turnovers. Celtics committed 15 turnovers. Points off turnovers, 18-16 Boston. Fast break points, 13 apiece. Boston outscored Miami in points in the paint, 52-42. The Heat committed 16 fouls with 1 technical. Celtics committed 24 fouls, 1 technical, no flagrants. Boston actually had a lead in this game. You know how big that lead was? 3. Miami's biggest lead? 33. So with all that, Michael Bullock, this afternoon, you called me up and you vented. You got a lot of pent up anger and frustration and rage off your chest. I know you're feeling much longer. That's a distant memory now. So Michael Bullock, I mean, man, 3-0. Only one time has we talked about this during our Raw chat. While we had a moment. 1951 NBA Finals. The Rochester Royals, the then Rochester Royals, led the New York Knicks 3-0. The Knicks won 3 in a row to force it to a Game 7, but the Rochester Royals won that Game 7. That's the closest it's ever been done for a team to come from 0-3 down to win a series. So just wanted to throw that history maker out there. So Michael Bullock, barring a 2004 Boston Red Sox miracle, this magical run for the Boston Celtics most likely will be over, and it could be over as early as tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean it's hard for me to imagine a team like the Celtics, especially after the run they went on last year to get to the NBA Finals, could end tomorrow night. And this team, I have never seen this team play as soft as they did. I mean, there was just no effort. There was no toughness. I mean, I don't know why all of a sudden they are like this, but when you got someone like Magic Johnson who actually called them out and actually said they were soft, that's how bad it gets. And yeah, I mean, for the Boston Celtics, they got no choice. They got to make history or they will be history. So we'll see how this all plays out. I mean, it's just utterly disappointing, utterly frustrating. I mean, that's all I'm going to say on it. So any quick thoughts, Fletch?
Yeah, I think the rage from the Celtic fans last night was everything you needed it from all of us. No doubt about it. From Ryan Abedizian to the Yankee Mad Dog Messiah Derek Ferreira himself, and a whole bunch of other people that I've been talking to all day, from the 2184 crew, and everybody was saying it. This was an absolute embarrassment. And the thing was, I called it out and I said it, that Joe Mazzulla lost the team. And it's very obvious he did. Now, he came out last night after the game as like, well, I didn't have my boys prepared. It was not great at all. Understatement of the year there, Mazzulla. Understatement of the year, my friend. And now you're hearing a lot of people talking about maybe if this happens, if Boston gets swept, that Mazzulla is out. And now I'm hearing rumors, and I don't want to say anything, but I'll say it. I just heard a rumor about Doc Rivers possibly coming back to Boston. Now, I know, don't start anything. Don't say anything because the series is not over. Well, at least in the eyes of Derek Ferreira, the series is over. It's done. It's a wrap. He thinks Miami's getting swept in 4. Miami sweeps in 4. And quite frankly, I actually don't see Boston coming back. Honestly, I think a sweep is definitely in the cards, and I do believe a sweep will probably happen tomorrow night. Boston just did not play with any urgency, any fire, any passion. They were, without a doubt, an embarrassment in itself. And I was going to say something really offensive. And it had to do with Bill Russell. And now I know I got the Celtic fans saying, what the heck were you about to say? I'd rather not go there because obviously Michael Bullock is on the field nice. And I'm like, this. I hope the spirit of the player and telling them to fire played it, because I honored and remembered as a, because of the fact that, remember, the Celtics was gonna honor him with the fact that he passed away during the offseason. The NBA retired his number 6 on the court and everything else. You saw those 2 number 6 emblems on the free throw line at TD Garden every game. And this is how you're going to want to honor his legacy? By laying an egg the way you did, by not showing up? I will say this. It's not what you wear on the back of the jerseys. It's what the emblem on the front is what the fans care about and everything else. You have that green and white, the Boston fucking Celtic. That's what you should be proud about. Not the name on the back, the name in the front. I'm not even a Celtic fan, and I'll openly admit it. I'm not a Celtic fan. But what I saw last night was a complete and utter embarrassment. And they need to wake up. And they better start playing now more than anything else. So that's what would be my sentiment. And one thing too, and I want to say this one thing. The comments that were made by the Yankee Mad Dog Messiah, by Derek Ferreira, he was 1,000% right about everything he said. All of the comments, all of the negativity, all of the bashing he did on the Celtics last night was all warranted. Absolutely. 1,000% warranted. Now it's
with the exception of the R word.
Yes, with the exception of that. Yes, I will totally agree with that. I will 1,000% agree on that. That's the thing between us and him. He definitely will toe that line and sometimes go over that line. Where some of us, we do like to, we have toed the line a lot, but there's certain levels to that line that we just won't cross. I think that's the difference between us and him. He's not afraid to toe that line and go over it. Hey, all the props to him. Good for you, my friend. Obviously, it's working. You're getting your views, and you got a lot of the followers, and you get the sentiment. So the thing is, we never had any problems with your fandom. We never did. We know how fiery you can get. We know how crazy and angry, and we're not trying to silence that. No. I will say this. you had every right to rip the Boston Celtics. Every right. Just as much as I would have. If Michael Bullock did not, if he would have came out here, guns blazing, fire, and everything else, I would not have stopped him this time around. Unlike on game 2, I told him, hey, toe the line, be a little nicer. Don't try to cross certain lines. After what I saw in game 3, I even told Anthony Floyd, I was like, hey, if he goes off, hey, by all means, I do not even care this time around. Because of the fact that, because I was disgusted. And like I said, I'm not even a Boston fan. But the comments that were made by Ryan Abedisian, the comments that were made by Ferreira, the comments that I was hearing from every single Boston fan, not only on the radio, on Twitter, on Facebook, everybody was saying the same thing. The team had no heart. They did not play with fire, with conviction, with anything. It felt like they didn't even want to be there last night. That's a major problem, even for us. It's one thing if you get your butts kicked. It's one thing if you get your asses kicked and you show the fire in. And, sometimes you have a bad night at the office and that's it. But it looked like they quit. It looked like they gave up. They did the Roberto Duran no mas. That's where you get the problems. That's where the fans have every attack you. Every right to say whatever they want to say. That is one of those type of situations where in sports, if a team doesn't show up, you could chalk it up to a bad night. You're like, you know what? They had a bad night, this and that, blah, 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 blah. Don't get them back in the next game. What I was watching, what Anthony was watching, what Michael Bullock was watching, what every Celtic fan were watching last night was a lot different. It looked like they had no idea what they were doing, and they had no, it was like it looked like they didn't even know that the game was even happening. Like, Miami, this entire series has been faster, better, quicker. 3-point shots have been drowning. They've hustled for every ball. Every 50-50 ball is going their way. Everything that they have been doing has been great. But Boston's been a step off. They complain about referees' calls. Man, shut up and play the free game. That's the one thing I would say. Look, a bad call goes against you. Fine. It happens. You got to focus on the next play. Don't start. The minute that started was when they lost their heads. Marcus Smart gets called for a technical foul because he's complaining with the referees. Why? Okay, a call went against you. That's part of the game. Has the referees been great in the postseason? Hell freaking. You could say the ref has sucked the whole postseason. Certain calls, certain players, certain decisions have gone against certain teams where the fan bases have been flipping the freak out. And I get it. But there's nothing you can do about those situations. You got to shut up, put your head down, bury it in, and keep grinding and working. That's how it's supposed to be done. That's what you're supposed to do. When you start complaining and crying like a bunch of babies, man, that is where I get pissed off. And I get angry. So you got to play your game and you got to handle your situation. Joe Mazzulla, I don't know what the hell you did. I don't know what you're going to do now. But you better get your boys turned around, focused, and ready to play in about, I want to say, in about 20 hours. Less than 20 hours. Maybe 19 plus out, 19 and 45 minutes from now. Because if you don't turn this around, you're going to end up like the LA Lakers here tonight sweat, embarrassed, humiliated. And then the questions are going to start coming. You know? The same questions that are being thrown about LeBron James, about Anthony Davis, about the LA Lakers, all those questions are going to be coming your direction. Is Jason Tatum really a true superstar? Is Jaylen Brown worthy of all the recognition that he got? Is Joe Mazzulla the head coach? Is he worthy of being the head coach of the Boston Celtics? Because right now, if you want my answer, no to all three. Jason Tatum may be an all-star, but he's not going to take that next step to be an elite player. Jaylen Brown, great defensive player, and an incredible guy. Probably not worthy of what Joe said, that you're not worthy of being a coach. At the end, all these things are going to be reflected because of the fact of how you did. And the thing was, everybody was saying that you were going to make it to the NBA Finals. And I mean it. Everybody had the Boston Celtics either in 6 games or 7 games going to the NBA Finals. I'm the only one out of the entire panel that went with Miami. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I did not call for a sweep. Not at all. I did not think this was even in the cards. Now it looks like it's going to happen. Boston has themselves to blame for this, folks. Nobody else. And it's the players, not the coach. The players. They're the ones that put themselves in this mess. I got really nothing more to say, guys. So, yeah. Boston's got to figure it out, and they got to figure it out wicked fast. But I think it's too little too late. I think we're going to be busting out the broomsticks for the second night in a row. Tomorrow night. I think we got a 4-0 sweep. So, nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Same time for the shows this week, MF?
Yeah.
All right.
And I'll just say it like this, guys. I mean, for the Celtics to do what the Boston Red Sox did, they got to take the same philosophy like the Red Sox did that made their comeback possible. You just worry about this game tomorrow night. Worry about the next game on Thursday. I mean, just go one quarter, one play at a time, and who knows, it could turn out to something good. And then you worry about the next game, and you do the same thing. And if you win that game 4 and game 5, maybe you start to plant some doubts into the Miami Heat, where to the point they'll be like, we need to win game 6 back on our home floor, because if we don't, we could be in deep trouble. So, but right now, just focus on this game and this game only. Don't worry about trying to win 4 in a row. Just worry about winning this game tomorrow night. That's your only focus.
Okay. So, and don't worry, I'm not gonna do a keep the faith thing anymore, because even I see the writing on the wall here. So this is over. It ends tomorrow. That's it.
You may say that, but I'm not ready to wave the white flag yet. Not until we lose that 4th game.
Okay. All right. So,
because I'm not gonna be that quote unquote fake fan that other people can be. I'm gonna be the true Celtics fan that I am. I'm going to stand by my team no matter what the outcome is. I live to be a Celtics fan, and I'm going to die a Celtic fan, no matter where this team goes, and no matter what the end result is going to be. I'm not going to be a phony fan, and to anybody who says, "Oh, why don't you criticize?" I'm like, I criticize them, but I'm going to still support my team because that's who I am. Just like Anthony Florio supports his Bills, like I supported him, especially after what his team went through with the Bengals.
Mm-hmm. He did.
And I support Fletch. And I support Fletch and his team whenever they go through some struggles.
Absolutely.
These two here are loyal to their teams, and they're going to stick by them no matter what, just like I am with my teams, including the Boston Celtics. We're not going to be fake fans. We're not going to be phony fans. And if anybody's got a problem with that, go screw yourselves.
Oh, my brother, testify. That's it. So with that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We'll be back with you Wednesday night at 10:30 over on MF's channel, Brace Fan 95. We have Wednesday Night Madness, as it will be NXT and AEW Dynamite as always. Thursday, TXN Sports World, 10:30. If the Miami Heat put away the Boston Celtics tomorrow night, we will have our preview of the NBA Finals. That's only if that happens. Also on the docket, we have Week 7 of the USFL. Preview that. And some other things here and there. So we'll keep an eye out on some other things. And then Friday, we got a loaded, and I mean loaded, Cerebral Smack Talk. There might be AEW Rampage. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and find out because it's currently scheduled for Saturday night at midnight. So, but I got a feeling that might be changed, and it could be back on Friday night. And if it is, we'll do it. But for right now, we will have Friday Night SmackDown, which was a taped show, and then we will preview Night of Champions, NXT Battleground, and the main event, AEW Double or Nothing. So that'll be on Friday, and then we'll get back to you folks about when we'll have the recap shows for all these events. So we'll put our heads together and we'll figure out a day and time for that. So with that, that'll do it for this. So until Wednesday night, for Wednesday Night Madness over on the MF channel, Brace Fan 95, it's Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, the phenom Michael Bullock, and of course, always and forever, the First Lady, Dee Whitson, Neil the Routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days, and until Wednesday night, for Wednesday Night Madness, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you and beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio. So long. Bye, everybody. Bye.